Go.
I'm Lisa Hooser.
I'm James Hooser.
Come on, say it.
Carly.
Carly Hooser? Alright. Hang on. Alright. This is my introductory speech for Speech 1315. Sam Hooser. Alright, so candy. Everybody loves candy. Candy's been around for a long time. Pretty much it's become a part of every holiday. Easter, Halloween, even Christmas. But have you ever stopped to think about where the candy comes from, where its origins are, things like that? Well, I'm going to talk about one of the big companies, which you probably know of as the Mars Company. Mars Company. They make Reese's, Snickers, most of the chocolate that you actually eat. And I'm going to explain its origin. Frank Mars was born in Hancock in 1882. He was born with polio, so he already had a disability. But his mom was very kind and she worked with him. She actually taught him how to make candy in their own kitchen. She'd help him stir the chocolate. She taught him how to cook it just right, how to get the creamy texture throughout. Well, once Frank Mars went out with his candy idea, he met Ethel Mars. And together they carried on the tradition of making chocolate and candy in their kitchen. Then in 1911 is when they created the Mars Company. Well, the person that went into business with Mars was Wrigley Incorporated. And Wrigley was led by William Wrigley Jr. He came to Chicago at the age of 29 with only $32 in his pocket. $32, that's not much. So what he had to do is he had to sell soap on the streets. Well, soap wasn't a very big business around then. People didn't really want to buy it just for necessity reasons. So he decided to switch to baking soda. Well, whenever he was selling baking soda, he figured out that you put baking soda and water together, you get a putty-like, chewy substance. You could almost say he helped create bubblegum. And bubblegum is a big part of our society nowadays with Orbit, Trident, things like that people constantly chew on. So today, I'm going to be talking about Skittles. Where Skittles came from. As you probably guessed, they come from the Mars Company, and Wrigley Incorporated also has its name patented on the Skittles that help it get to the factory, things like that, make it. Well, there's a lot of controversy as to where Skittles actually came from. Some people say the Mars made it, some people say Wrigley made it, but actually, a man named Flavio Scatella from Italy. He was a confectioner, and he would make a black and white confetti that people would throw at weddings. Well, it was used pretty often in Italy, and the people would throw the confetti-like substance at the groom and bride as they were leaving. Well, Flavio noticed that most of the time the kids would go around picking the confetti off the ground and eating it. And so he realized that he actually could make a business out of his confetti. So he decided to package the confetti on its own and make it its own little box of candy, and he named it Skeletas. Or Skittles. The kids would come in and they'd buy it 25 Skittles for 5 cents. Well, the kids weren't very good at pronouncing it. As you can tell, I'm not very good at pronouncing it. So they decided to start calling it Skittles. And that's where its name originated. So Flavio had a thriving business with his Skittles, almost too thriving. People would come by and buy the candy so often that he couldn't make enough. So he had to sell his patent right to a company that could make his candy. And you probably guess that company was the Mars Company. Now, Skittles has evolved, the Skittles candy has evolved through the years. What came originally in 1974 in Europe was orange color, red, yellow, green, and purple. And those flavors are orange, strawberry, lemon, green apple, and grape. Those were the original flavors. In 1979, it actually started getting imported into America. It wasn't until 1982 that they actually made it to where Skittles was made and sold in America. However, people got tired of the same original Skittles. They wanted something new, something bolder. So in 1989, they released 2 different flavors of Skittles. Wild Berry, which had raspberry, wild cherry, strawberry, for people that like the sweet kind of berry taste, and Tropical, which had banana, mango, and I think passion fruit. So they mixed it up a little bit, and that actually helped the business thrive. Well, they learned pretty quickly that mixing it up actually brought in a lot more money. So in 2000, they actually started to make sour Skittles, adding a new twist, new power to the Skittle. Taste the Rainbow, which is their slogan, actually came about in 1994 by Diere Messias Benton. Kind of a mouthful. That slogan is still used today, as you can tell from the commercials. More than 200 million Skittles are made a day. That equals about 47,000 bags of Skittles. And it takes about 8 hours to put the candy coating around the little fruit chewy center. So, as you can tell, Skittles are a big deal. They came from a very clouded history, but if you take your time to get to know them, they're actually pretty interesting.